This is the February 2025 tank update, and it is back. The tank is partially up and running. This is the Glasscages, about 230 gallon, 6-foot tank in the same place that the prior Innovative Marine tanks were. The stand is taller than the Innovative Marine. The tank is taller, so I had to actually move the lights up. Lights are the same. I actually still have one of them left in the garage that I haven't moved over. Everything's kind of a work in progress, but I just put all the fish and corals in a few days ago. So I figured I'd do a quick tank update. I'll start on the left and move myself over. So I did start the process of setting up and getting water from my garage. And so this is the ATO reservoir, and then that tube there that goes into the wall goes into the bathroom, then into the garage. And I'm going to set up a pump that'll pump the water from my water storage bin, and then I'll have it set up to the hydros. And so when I'll put a little sensor, and so when the water drops to a certain point, I'll just have a timer on the hydros to turn on the pump for whatever number of minutes, fill it up for several gallons, and then I'll never have to bring RO into the house to fill it up, so that'll be nice. The tank itself is quite beautiful. Glasscages Custom Aquarium. They were great to work with. As you can hear, I still have to tune in the overflow. It's still making noise, but that's one of my future projects. Unfortunately, I did lose a lot of my SPS. I got some of my Oregon Tort hanging in. Obviously the purple stylo is impossible to kill. And then these are a few of my pieces of SPS that somewhat survived. The homewrecker survived. I did lose Disney Junior and Walt Disney, which was a bummer. They died. As you can see, a couple of them half died but are still somewhat alive. But that's really all I've got left of my SPS, which is sad. These are some pieces of just random branches that I got from saltwateraquarium.com. That one's kind of cool, has a tree look to it. Not sure if I'm going to use the other ones where they are, but fish are doing well. Didn't really lose too many in all the, what was it, July when I had the tank leak. So what's that, 7 months that all these fish were out in the garage. Most of them survived. I don't have my yellow tang or a couple of my wrasses out here because they are the most aggressive fish I have, and I do have some fish coming next week, and so I want to get those new fish in the tank, and then once they're in the tank I'll move the yellow tang and my 2 wrasses, more aggressive wrasses, over. But for now I kept them in the garage. But I moved all the other fish over, and they're doing actually quite well. I collected a lot of bubble algae and a lot of aptasia while these tanks were in the garage because the nitrates and phosphates were so high they were undetectable on the test kits. And of course I got all sorts of nuisance stuff. I got a bunch of peppermint shrimp coming from Dr. Reef. I've got a few in here. I have not seen them make a dent in the aptasia yet, but I've got some new ones coming, so hopefully they can knock it down. And the magnificent foxface has been destroying the bulbil, so I had a ton of bubble algae, and it's like the whole Oregon Tort, which Still has some down there, but it was covered with bulb. And there he is. The Magnificent did a great job of clearing most of that. So he's been a bulbal algae machine. And then the other tanks have removed a lot of the other nuisance algae that was all over. I did lose, I think one of my A cans is pretty much a goner. One of them survived. This is my mirror to minimize aggression. That A can survived, but my other one did not. There's a horde of Aptasia. Hopefully the peppermints will attack it. And then need to decide where to put the torches. A couple of nice torches, and then all of my Goni and Alveopora. I'll be putting those across the front rocks eventually. These are a bunch of my rock anemone. These are mostly babies that I never put in the tank. That's why they're so small. These actually came from a sperm event where I had a blow up of rock anemone all over the place, and so pretty cool. I think like that one is a color that I never bought, so it just randomly mixed all the sperm and came up with some cool colors, so that's cool. Hopefully they don't populate too much and take over my tank. I lost one of my Favia, that one died in the garage. Those two are still alive, but they tend not to like the light, and there's a lot of light in this tank, so I'm not sure how they're going to do over here. But so that is the tank. As I mentioned, I love this tank. Glasscages did a beautiful job. The craftsmanship is excellent. It's fully armored. I've got cross braces across the top. 1, 2, full Euro bracing, which is hard to tell with my makeshift net that I have temporarily, but Euro bracing all along the top, and this is double Euro bracing, so it's got one layer of Euro bracing down there you can see, and then another layer along the top. So double Euro braced, armored seams all along the side, and then also armor all along the bottom. And then the stand, as far as the lights are about the same. What's nice is, before I get to the stand, what's nice is that with the 80/20 aluminum, this tank, I didn't set it as close to the wall so I'd have more room to work. So I can easily just undo some of these bolts up here, and I'm going to slide the light because it's not far enough out. So I'll just slide it out, and that's pretty easy to do. And mostly running the Red Sea, and then my Reef Brights. So I've got 3 Reef Brights, and then the Red Sea, a 90, 3 of the 160, one of them still in the garage, and then a 50. I run the 50 over the softies because the softies don't like as much light. And then down in the sump, as far as the stand, by the way, stand is unbelievable. It's very heavy, very sturdy, rock solid, it doesn't move. Stand is great. They put leveling feet on it for me. It's the first time Glasscages did leveling feet. And it's got these holes drilled, and then you just get a ratchet and ratchet here when you're trying to level it, obviously before the tank is filled. But it was really easy to level. It is perfectly level all around, so that was great. I ended up using my Innovative Marine Sump, which works fine. So I just used that since the plumbing already attached to it. I didn't have to modify the plumbing all that much. So pretty much running the same setup that I had before. I've got the Vast Marine calc stir going. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the rest. I did use Alpha Reef in the garage. The SPS did not do well, whether it was due to the Alpha Reef or the fact that they were in small tanks. Who knows? So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Sure is convenient though to just run Kalkwasser and Alpha Reef. If that works, then that's kind of nice. Because before I was running BRS, soda ash, calcium chloride, plus tropical marine part C. And that was a lot of dosers, a lot of management, so we'll see how this goes. Normally I do have to add a little calcium every now and then, and with the Alpha Reef it'll maintain the alk but not the calcium. But I haven't done it really before mixing both Kalkwasser and Alpha Reef, so we'll see how it goes. Got my hydros here. I love the hydros. I did some cord management, I haven't finished. Yeah, I've got the Kraken and a lot of the hydros gear, which I love. I have not set up my IV yet, so I'm going to set up the IV in order to monitor the alkalinity. So that'll be my next project. But overall, this is the controller cabinet. Oh, by the way, before I get to that, this is how I run my lights. So Red Sea is notorious for running hot bricks. So their bricks run hot and they tend to burn out. A lot of people lose the bricks fast. And so what I do is I get these computer fans and I blow them. I have drilled holes in this little white cabinet. And then I have fans blowing out that takes the heat away. And so these power bricks for the lights stay pretty cool. So that works well. I've got my backup battery for the Kraken in here. And then I've got all the power bricks for my lights in here. So it saves on cord space from the Sump and then keeps all those nice and cool. So that works pretty well. And then they made me a nice controller cabinet. So I've got a bunch of my controllers here. The problem is that it really swings out pretty far wide coming out, and I need to get all the cords in such a way that I can allow it to swing out. But that's next step in my many projects that I need to do for this tank. But so far I am very happy to have a tank back in my house. It's been a long time. Looking forward to getting the fish next week. I've got a convict tang coming next week, a McCosker's wrasse, another wrasse I can't think of the name of right now, and a bunch of smaller shrimp and whatnot. So get them in the tank and then move the yellow tang and the other two wrasses, the Christmas wrasse and the other pretty wrasse that I have in the garage, move them out here, and then the tank will be full. I'll do a update in the future.